Well, we're going to continue to share tips, Edie. Now, I know, slap the insects. Those are a problem, not only for standing water, but all through the garden. And what are some of the things that we have here about insect tips on how to get rid of those pests?
Well, one thing, when you go work in the garden, make sure you don't put cologne on, because that will draw insects to you, especially the yellow jackets.
Oh,
so
yes, they love
that.
sweet-smelling things, don't they? No matter who they are.
And good old Murphy's Oil soap.
Yeah.
Take a tablespoon of this into a gallon of water and mix those two together and put it in a spray can. And you're going over there to work in the garden, and there's a lot of mosquitoes. They come out from underneath the plants. And just spray down the middle of the row, spray part of it on yourself, and the mosquitoes will not bother you.
Okay, so this is just water and Murphy's Oil soap.
A tablespoon to a gallon of water. Put it in a sprayer.
Okay, well, that's good. You can clean your floors and keep the pest off yourself.
Yes.
Very good there, too. Now, again, I noted that you have ammonia here. We didn't mention that before in the first segment when we were talking about pests, but raccoons, as we said, who like the corn, and we talked about keeping the pepper off of them, but here's another tip for that.
Yes, recycle. Take these little water bottles, or there could be one a little bit taller, and I use the Dremel tool, or you could use a drill bit, and punch some holes in it, and unscrew it and put 1 inch of ammonia in this water bottle.
Okay,
and
it's just plain old
ammonia.
Household ammonia.
And raccoons do not like the smell of ammonia.
Okay.
And 1 inch, and of course, before you punch the holes through, you can hang you a little wire, and you just make several of these and take them to your sweet corn patch, and around the outside, just hang about every 10 feet, hang you a little bottle of ammonia. And they do not like that smell.
Okay, are you putting that on the stalk of corn?
On the stalk of corn.
Okay, just putting it on every 10 feet or so on the stalk, and it kind of creates the odor there.
Yes, that they do not like.
Well, that would be something good where you didn't have to go out and shake pepper every day.
Yes.
Would
And you'd only have to put the pepper on there again, after it rains, go back over, because the rain would wash the pepper off.
Absolutely, absolutely there too. Now, other things that we have here are a lot like keeping pests away. Now, I know this is one, a lot of people have water gardens right now, and maintaining those gardens and maintenance in general around the home is an issue too. But let's start, I know you've got a tip, like if you have a fountain or if you have, again, a bird bath.
Yes.
How you kind of keep the insects out of that.
Well, now this is a mosquito donut. There's 6 to this package. I think it's $7 at the local garden center. And if we have a lot of bird baths, and it only takes 1/4 of an inch of water for the mosquitoes to lay eggs.
Oh my goodness.
1/4 of an inch.
And we've had a wet season this time.
Yes, a lot of rain. And just take these donuts. In fact, if you had a small bird bath, you could even cut this in half and only put half of it in there. And drop this in the bird baths. And the mosquitoes will not lay their eggs. It deters them from laying eggs in the water, and it will not hurt the birds or any animal.
Okay.
But do not put this in your fountains that have a motor, and do not put bleach in your fountains that have a motor.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, since this dissolves, it might get in the motor, because the water recycles and goes through some of the parts.
Okay.
And if you put bleach in there in the fountain where you have motors in it, then the bleach actually eats up the O-rings in the motor. So,
okay, so it's an attack on the rings then.
Yes.
Okay, deteriorates those. Okay, so we'll only for certain things. Stationary bird baths.
Yes.
For that too. Okay, now as far as maintenance too, you've got some other tips here. Everybody goes to the garden and they're going to do some Sevin, some insecticides, things like that. You've got a good tip if your garden is not close to your house.
Yes. Take you any kind of can. It could be a coffee can. This just happens to be
mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts, and take a nail and turn it upside down, and using a hammer about 6 or 8 holes in there with the nail, and then drop the nail in there.
Okay.
And then fill it up with Sevin dust.
Okay.
And save you another lid so you have one on the top.
So you would probably put this lid on the bottom before you put the Sevin in it, wouldn't you? So it wouldn't sprinkle out. Absolutely.
So you have the can full of Sevin, so you don't have to run back to the house when you see insects on your cabbage and broccoli and beans, and keep that in the garden. And to keep water out of this, take any kind of container. It could be a plastic ice cream bucket with a lid. This just happens to be a paper one, and set your Sevin down in there and put the lid on it and set that in your garden. And you don't have to run back to the house to get your Sevin dust.
So you kind of keep your little area there.
Yes.
Or you could
It's
have
real-
any kind of a little waterproof box or something.
Yes,
there in
could
the
be a
garden.
mailbox, an old mailbox that
Right.
you put in your garden, you know, and set it inside the mailbox.
That's a great tip there to keep that going. Now I know this is interesting because a lot of people have, you know, the ponds and enjoy, you know, fish in the ponds, fish ponds and things like that around the house now. But algae can get to be a problem in
Yes.
certain seasons like that too.
It turns the water green, and that makes your pond look cruddy.
It
So,
does.
so you take about a half a cup of this algae clear active sticks. It's really made from barley.
I see.
And this company, Dr. Foster Smith, and the 800 numbers on here, they sell the pellets or they sell the little bale of barley. And you throw a handful in there, and you should, within 3 or 4 days, see your water clear up, turn from green to clear.
Okay, so these are barley pellets then
Yes.
that you use. Okay, so environmentally friendly.
Yes.
And can clear
They
up the
will not
algae.
hurt the fish, the goldfish, or any
Okay.
koi fish you have in there.
Okay, that sounds a good one too. And you know, here's a standby that everyone, you know, wants to get rid of weeds, you know, like that too.
Yes,
and this seems to be, it is a commercial product, but it's a good standby for people to look for.
I don't know what I'd do without the preen.
Right.
So, and this only lasts 3 months, and you have to sprinkle this on there. And the can comes with its own spout, and you just tip it up, and it's granular, and just spread it in the middle of the rows. Now, what this does is it will not let any seed germinate.
Okay.
So you have to wait till your garden, the plants are up about 4 inches, or if you're doing transplants, then you could put it down the middle of the rows.
Okay.
But this keeps weed seed, any seed from germinating. So, and then I put leaves down in the garden, and we hardly have any work the rest of the summer.
Okay, so this is up and down the rows of the garden.
yes. Or in your flower beds,
edges of
yes.
the flower beds, or you know, around
Yeah.
your plants and
Yes.
things like that. It will not hurt your plants,
No.
your garden plants, or your flowers.
No, it won't.
Okay,
This is
just only
pretty.
attacks the weed seed there. Okay,
Saves a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely, and people definitely know what you're talking about right now with all the rain that we've been having there too. Now, other maintenance things that we have. I noticed that we have, again, back to some of the pests that we're trying to get rid of. We have a spray that you've mixed up here.
Well, this goes on the melons. And-
Then
yeah.
this is not for the
Yeah.
pests. Excuse me,
This
wrong
one-
one.
This one would be for pests.
Okay, let's talk about that one.
Let me. This sheet.
Okay, we've got a picture of a particular pest here that you really want to get rid of.
This is really a moth that looks like a black wasp, and she flies during the daytime. And she will lay her eggs on the base of your squash plants, and when the eggs hatch, that's a big borer worm, and it will eat your stems of the pumpkins and all your squash. It will eat them up. You go over there in the end of July, and your vegetables are gone because the plants are dead. So I tried to.
So this is the one that we're after.
I put a can, cut this, the end out of the can here, and I slipped, while the plant was young, I slipped this down over the squash
okay.
plant and shoved newspaper in here, and she can't find the base of the squash plant to lay her eggs on.
Okay, so you're trying to protect the base then of the plant.
Yes.
Absolutely, there too. Well, okay, we've got a lot of maintenance things here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk to some hard-to-get places on your home and some of the things that Edie and Bob have found that really work in cutting down the work.
Okay.
Absolutely. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, good. All right, we're going to try to get another 9 minutes out of this.
Let's see.